I'm back, Brandon from Walker's Woodworks. You know this, I don't know why I say it every video. But welcome back to the channel, appreciate you guys tuning in. Today I have another unboxing and initial review of a new saw by Delta. It is their Shopmaster Series table saw. So it's an entry-level saw, just like the miter saw you guys saw the video on. If you did not see that, I'll link it down in the description below. But let's get this thing opened up and see what's going on with it. Let's see what it says on the box first. Powerful 15 amp motor, produces up to 5,000 RPM. Easy bevel adjustment. Easy lock rip fence. Lightweight design for easy transporting. 3-year warranty, just like the miter saw. It does feel pretty light. Oh, this is a lot more assembly than the miter saw. Probably not a ton though, just gotta put the fence on. And you know what we all do with these. We just put them not with the saw. Yeah. This is the smallest little miter gauge I've ever seen. What's this? Hardware. It's helpful. Knob. Kickback safety. We all use that, right? Push stick. I do use those. Come on. Oh, it's upside down. Oh, come on. It is light, we'll give him that. So I'll get this thing kind of put together and then we'll go over it. Okay, got it together. Initial thoughts, really not a fan of this fence, but it is usable and it does lock down. And you can put it on this side and use the fold down fence if you want. It's a nice feature. Lock and unlock there. Comes off easy. To do the beveling, you just undo that, and you can adjust it here. There's a gauge down here with an adjustable arrow. So we'll just put it all the way like that. Then I'll grab a square and we could check it, see if it's actually square or not. Actually, I'll get my digital angle finder. It's more accurate. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this okay. I have a video actually on doing this whole process. I will link that down in the description below. But anyway, take a digital angle finder, put it on your saw bed, zero it. Actually, I'm gonna put it out here because that thing's plastic and keeps flexing. Zero it there, then put it on there. That's pretty close, to be honest with you, for a system like this. Which way? Oh. You can just fine adjust it till you get it. As good as it's gonna get. Lock it down. There you go. You know you're at perfect 90. You want to check it again, put it back on here. As long as it goes to 0, you're good. Okay, now we got this thing pretty much set up. Let's take it outside and make a couple test cuts. Well, I don't know what it weighs, but it's not very heavy. Maybe 40 pounds, I would say. So that's nice. Can kind of set it on anything. Let's get this thing plugged in, and I'm actually going to hook my shop back up to the dust collection to see how it works. Does it just hook up or do you need an adapter? Wow. Just hooks up probably to any shop vac, which is always nice. Okay, we're gonna do some testing. I grabbed a few different pieces of wood. This is just a piece of 1x pine, and then I grabbed some 1x walnut, get a little harder wood, and I grabbed an 8/4 piece of alder. So we'll see how it does. Okay, first we're just gonna do the pine. I don't really wanna like take a bunch off because this is a pretty good piece of wood. So I'm just gonna take a little bit off, but enough to where it's gonna bog it down if it's going to. Turn the vacuum on. Okay. Fence is locked. Okay, now we'll run the walnut. Probably gonna bog down a little bit more, but it still should do fine. Not a fan of this. Try it again. Did not bog down, but do not like this. So even though really shouldn't not run this, whatever, not gonna run it right now. If you had the anti-kickback thing on, maybe it would be better, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna try some 8/4, raise it up a little bit. Just enough to get through it. So I got the saw back in the shop here, just like the last video on the miter saw. I'm gonna go over some pros and cons in my personal opinion. Pro, it's very light, just like the miter saw. This is cool. You can store your push stick right here. It just goes in and then clicks forward and it stays right there. The fence is not, it's solid, but the adjustable, like how you adjust it, it's kind of, it's not the best, but it, you know, for what it is, it's fine. The fence is on there pretty solid. The table is not cast iron, obviously it would make it 1,000,000 pounds, but it does seem to be nice. If you put some paste wax on here, it'd glide a lot better. It did bog down on the 8/4 alder, so I would probably not recommend using it for like milling, but 1x stuff didn't seem to have an issue even with the walnut. Would I buy this to use it in the shop every day? Probably not. Would I buy this for DIY around the house stuff? Yeah, probably so, especially for the price point. Speaking of price, I just had to stop and look it up, if we're being honest. Also $199. Probably can't see that, but get this saw and all the Shopmaster Delta stuff at Walmart or walmart.com. It's an entry-level saw, like I said, around the house DIY stuff. It's gonna work for you just fine. A couple other things I did notice, like I showed while I was cutting, I took off the riving knife or whatever you want to call it because it was not lined up right. I looked a little later and you can't adjust that, so I'll adjust it over just a little bit. I do like to have that on there. I don't really like the claw anti-kickback things, but I do like having the riving knife because it helps with kickback. You know, it's not going to let your wood turn sideways and kick back at you. I always leave riving knives on all my table saws. Dust collection, not good. But, you know, I've used top of the line saws. I used to have the 36-inch stop. Wow, English. I used to have the 36-inch saw stop, 3-horse, and the dust collection on that was just as bad. And we actually had the 5-horse, bigger one, hooked up to a huge dust collector. No overhead dust collection, but really good bottom dust collection. And I even taped it up so there was no holes, and it's still just, you're just gonna get sawdust all over you if you use a table saw. That's just what it is. So altogether, for 200 bucks, hard to complain, honestly. Especially with how mobile it is. It's really light, like, I'm not joking. I'm sure it tells you in here somewhere, but it literally weighs like 40 pounds. So there's that. I just checked the blade again. It's still square, so that lock's holding, at least for now. I always check the blade on any saw before I start a project to make sure it's square, because why not? It takes 5 seconds, and then you know that you're good to go, and everything's gonna fit. So that's kind of it for the unboxing and initial review of this thing. If you guys like this video, let me know down in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you want to see the review of the miter saw I did, check that out right here. And we'll see you guys on the next one.